Tender.
Good.
Nice bark.
First cook on the Lang.
That's good.
Alright, you can see our layout. I got a little bit of resin wood right here. Get that going. Really small splits. You can see how the fire dog fits right here. We got these vents on the side. I know there's videos on how to start a Lang. I haven't watched them. So all of you that are Lang owners, you know, I know you're going to probably point out all the things I'm doing wrong on starting this thing. But I've owned, you know, plenty of smokers. So we'll see if I can get this thing going. So we got the fire starting. Let's take a look at what we got with this new Lang. So first off, we roll it off the truck and I got these tires, and they look so much better than the other tires I had. In fact, again, I asked the guy, I said, well, I think there's been a mistake. I think I've accidentally either gotten someone else's smoker or an upgrade. He's like, nope, those are the tires that you get now. And you'll see that it's got this flange right here to protect them. Last smoker didn't have that. What I've also noticed is, you know, this flange works really good for kind of preheating your splits. It rained last night and all my splits are wet, so I'll use this to kind of dry them out. And that'll keep me from having to put the splits on top. When I've done that in the past on a smoker, the splits will sometimes stick and it starts to scratch the paint up. Which brings me to the next part. The paint job on this just looks fantastic. Super pleased with this. Here's your front. You know, so you got the Lang badging, the USA, and then, you know, I don't know, they must have got, somebody must have done something stupid, so they got to put this warning on now. I'm probably going to take that off and either put my 1836 badging on it, just because I like the 1836 Independence Day of Texas. But I don't really, you know, I'm not going to use petrol for lighting my smoker, so I don't really need that warning. You know, here's your ball valve underneath. Take a look at our welds here. You know, I'm not mad. That looks really great, and as somebody that does crappy welding myself, you know, I'm not upset at all by that. I mean, looks fantastic. Then we've got the Lang handles. You know, I've always loved the Lang handles. And then we'll open it up. I already pre-seasoned it. You can see this model has the slide out grates, unlike my last model. All the other dimensions are going to be pretty much the same as last time, but I'll still put those in there. Here's your probe ports. I probably will not use those today and just go old-fashioned with thermometer on the Lang to see how accurate it is, and then some internal thermometers that I'll just lay on the grates there. Super impressed with this. All right, let's take a look. You can see our small splits are starting to catch. One thing that is interesting about this fire dog is it definitely concentrates you know, the fire, because you've only got 5.5 inches on your base. So you went from having 17 inches of base to move around a coal bed to suddenly 5 inches on the base to move around a coal bed. So that's going to be interesting for me. That's probably like the smallest base I've had to use on a smoker. All right, we're up to about 225. I've been playing around filming all morning, but I need to get this thing on the pit, so it's probably going to drop the pit temperature a little bit, but that's all right. We got a good fire going. Time to get this pork butt on. It's going to smell really good in about 5 minutes. All right, let's take a look at the fire. What I've noticed with the fire dog basket is you definitely have to rake the coals to keep these air vents exposed. And so what I'll find is as I'm adding a new split, I'll rake them back and forth and kind of bank the coals to the edges and then put the new split kind of in the middle. And then kind of repeat the process. It's cooking right around 225, 250. So I will say this, it is not hard to cook on so far. It's very, very easy. Size of the splits I'm using is right around 8 inches, 2.5. Cooking with the door cracked and both vents all the way open. And we're right at 225 and burning very clean. It's definitely not a hard smoker. I will say because you're using smaller splits, you are managing the fire a little bit more. You know, one thing about the fire dog, if you don't have the bottom vents exposed, you get a lot more smoldering. No complaints whatsoever. I'm enjoying learning this new smoker, and like I said, this is my first cook on a Lang, and so far having a great time. Okay, it's been 2 hours. Let's take a look, see how the pork butt's doing. All right, looking good. Looks like it needs a spritz, so we're going to spritz with apple juice. Yep. All right, time to tuck it back, let it go back to work. Take a look at our fire. So here's what I've noticed with the fire dog. Basically, it's 2 splits at all times of these Coke bottle splits. You put the 2 splits in. Once they start to burn down the coals, you rake it really good. That way you've got a thin coal bed. Otherwise it blocks heat. And then 2 more splits on, and it cooks like a champ. One thing that I was doing wrong was I was leaving the door cracked like this, because I don't know, I'm just used to leaving a door cracked. What I found was when I lock the door and just have the pinwheels open, it'll cook right around 250. So this smoker is turning out to be probably one of the easiest smokers I've used once I got the hang of the split size, because there's really, I mean, the pinholes stay open, the door stays closed, you put 2 splits on, and then you just kind of repeat it. And so you know, very different than say the offset, where you kind of, you know, I guess with an offset you get used to moving stuff back and forward and flipping it around, but you really don't do that with the fire dog. There's not any room to do that. You know, you're kind of raking the bottom, laying on your splits, waiting for them to catch, close the door, and you'll cook at 250. So far, this has been a very easy cook. Yeah, it's cooking clean. I've got no complaints whatsoever. I can see why people are so excited about getting a Lang. One thing I've noticed is, you know, it seals pretty tight. And I'm sure that has to do with, you know, the door handles here cinching it down. I think it's a cool feature. And yeah, I mean, I got no complaints about the door seal. You know, they're not supposed to be submarines, and so when you first get the smoker going, you're going to see smoke coming out. You haven't brought it up to pressure or created a draft yet, but like I said, now that we're burning, you don't see any smoke leaking out. Gotta say, I love the shelf. I see a lot of people like get it with the fold down shelf, but I absolutely think the wraparound shelf is the way to go if you've got the space. It is so convenient. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, it's looking good. Cooking on a lang. All right, let's check out and see if any of the other measurements changed. Right at 43 inches. It at 32 inches. Something's clearly changed at Lang, because before there would be lead times, and now you look and they're like, you know, currently in stock. I ordered mine on a Thursday. I got it by like Wednesday of the next week. And again, look, I mean, that's not the same quality that I had on the used one. So I don't know if they've done something to their manufacturing process, but definitely an improvement over what I got with the used one. So, all right, it's been a couple hours. Time to get our check on a temperature. I'm thinking this should be right about done. Oh, take a look at that. Come on, y'all, look at that. That's beautiful. Look at that. I'm looking for right around 160, 161, 64. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap it. So I'll take it off the smoker. We're going to put it in this pan. We're going to add some apple juice and some rub, cover it with foil, place it back on the smoker. Hold it. Let's see where we are with our. Yep. Trying to burn myself. Whew. And I did. Yeah, 211. What I'm gonna do is let it rest, and then we'll pull it. That's a good sign, huh?
Yep.
Okay. And the bark.
Oh, baby, that's good. Tender.
Good.
Nice bark. I like the really pink pieces.
Yep. First cook on the Lang. I'd say that's a success.
That's good.
All right. That's a wrap.
Great.